Hello guys, welcome to eTalks. eTalks are the small videos which I'll be making on current affairs which are related to Indian economy. So right now I'm discussing with you May 2021 current affairs and I'm discussing with you the topic pulses. So what you can do is you can go through this video and after that you can go through this particular notes and then the topic will be like covered comprehensively for you. So now let's start the topic pulses. So why the pulses has been in news? The pulses is in news because recently Indian government, Union government, it has brought a strategy for Kharif 21-22 season. So before I get on to pulses season, let me give you some introduction regarding what's happening for food grains in India. Like if I talk about the year 2021, 2019, that's a better year, 2019. So 2019 के अंदर the total food grain production in India was 296 million tons. In this 296 million tons, Kharif was 143 million tons, Rabi was 153 million tons. Then in this 296 million tons, 273 million tons they were cereals and 23 million tons they were pulses. In this 273 million tons, 47 million tons they were coarse cereals like bajra, jowar, ragi, all of them. Maize. In this 47 million tons, 28 million tons was maize and 10 million tons was bajra. I am telling you the important one, okay. And then other cereals in this so how much is left? 226. Out of this 226 million tons, 108 was wheat, 118 was rice. In this pulses, 8 million tons were produced in Kharif and 15 million tons they were produced in Rabi. Okay, so pulses, 2/3 of it is produced in Rabi season. Then in pulses, the largest production is of gram, 11 million tons. And second largest is tur, which is 4 million tons. Okay. Now if I talk specifically about pulses, the production was 18 million tons in the year 2010. It became 16 million tons in 2015-16, all because of drought. The area under cultivation was less, and then it became 25 million tons in the year 17-18, and then in the year 19-20, as I told you, it is 23 million tons. Okay, that's the production of pulses. Now, if I talk about food grain production. Total food grain production was 296 million tons in 2019. In the year 2010, it was 245 million tons. Okay. Then if I talk about area, total area under food grains in India, it is 127 million hectares. In that 127 million hectares, 28 million hectares is for pulses and remaining 99 is for cereals. In this 99, 57 is for Kharif, 42 is for Rabi. Okay. And moreover, in this 99, if I break it in serial wise, then in 99, 24 is for coarse cereals, and 75 it is for just rice and wheat, where rice it contributing 44 and wheat it contributing 31 million hectares. That's about the area. And in this 24, 10 million hectare is under maize and 7 million hectare is under bajra. If I talk about maize, in the last 10 years, area under maize it has increased, and the area under bajra it has reduced in the last 10 years. For wheat, the area has increased from 29 to 31 million hectares, and for rice also the area it has increased from 42 to 42 million hectares. Then if I talk about oil seeds production, oil seeds total production was 33 million tons. 2019 I am talking about. In that, Kharif was giving 22 million tons, Rabi gave 11 million tons, and in this 33 million tons, largest was coming from groundnut, 10 million tons. Then we had mustard, which was 9 million tons. And the area under oilseeds, it is 27 million hectares. It is more or less same as pulses. But oilseed production is 33 million tons and pulses production is 23 million tons. That's the difference. And again in oilseeds, I told you area is 27 million hectares, where Kharif, it is mainly Kharif production. 19 is Kharif, 8 is Rabi. But as I told you in case of pulses, majority production is coming from Rabi, minor from Kharif. Oilseed is opposite. Oilseed majority coming from Kharif, minor coming from Rabi. Now let me tell you about yield. India's food grain yield currently 1920 is 23 quintals per hectare. In the year 2010-11, the same yield was 19 quintals per hectare. In 1920, the yield of Kharif, it was 20 quintals per hectare. Rabi yield was more, 27 quintals per hectare. If I talk only about cereals, coarse cereals as well as rice and wheat, the yield is 27 quintals per hectare. Out of that 27, for coarse cereals, the yield is only 20 quintals per hectare. One decade back, it was 15 quintals. So 10 years back, it was 15 quintals per hectare. Yield of coarse cereals has increased to 20 quintals per hectare now. And in this 20 quintals per hectare, if I compare yield of jowar, bajra and maize, for jowar the yield is minimum 10 quintals per hectare, bajra 14 quintals per hectare, for maize the yield is maximum, it's 29 quintals per hectare. And then if I talk about other cereals, Then for rice, the yield is 27 quintals per hectare. You see this, that the yield of maize is more than the yield of rice. And for wheat, the yield is 34 quintals per hectare. The yield of rice 10 years back was 22 quintals. Yield of wheat 10 years back was 30 quintals. That was about cereals. Let me tell you about pulses. For pulses, the yield is just 8 quintals per hectare. And even 10 years back, it was just 7 quintals per hectare. And for tur, the yield is 8 quintals. It was 6.5 quintals earlier. For gram, the yield is good, hence the production is more, it is 12 quintals. If I talk about oil seeds, the yield is 12 quintals per hectare. Around 10 years back only it was 12 quintals only. So no improvement in oil seeds as well as in pulses, hardly any improvement. And that's the reason we are importing both of them. For oil seeds, the yield of groundnut, it is 21 quintals, and earlier it was 14 quintals. So you see this, the yield of groundnut has increased drastically. And for mustard, the yield is now 13.5 quintals, which was earlier 12 quintals per hectare. That was about the initial data about all crops. Now let's move to what the government is telling about pulses. So why is in news? It is in news because the government is saying that we have to achieve self-sufficiency in pulses. I told you that in case of pulses we are importing. Every year we are importing around 4 million tons of pulses. The demand of pulses in India is around 27 million tons. But how much we are producing is only 23 million tons. So we are importing pulses, so we have to achieve self-sufficiency in pulses. Therefore, Union government has brought a strategy. A detailed plan for both area expansion and productivity enhancement. So both things will be looked into perspective. The area has to be increased and productivity also has to be increased, because what has happened earlier is because of open procurement and because of high MSP for wheat and rice, the area which was for pulses and coarse cereals, now that area has gone to wheat and rice. And pulses, they have gone to marginal lands in which the fertility is less. So now the detailed plan is for area expansion as well as productivity enhancement for 3 main crops: tur, moong and urad, because all these 3 they are kharif pulses. All of them are kharif pulses. And what will be they're doing? They will be distributing certified seeds of high yield varieties free of cost. So that's the main point which they'll be doing, that for tur, moong and urad, their certified seeds of high yield varieties will be distributed free of cost to the farmers to increase area, and it will be focusing both on intercropping as well as on sole crop. So if in one farm they can grow, in the whole farm they can grow pulses, or they can go like pulses as well as cereals or pulses. So they can go intercropping or they can go for sole cropping. The farmers can go for any one of them depending upon their choice. And more than 20 lakh mini kits of seeds will be distributed. Okay, that's not important. What's important is these crops. Then now let's come to pulses in India. Thing is, the dry edible seeds of plants in the legume family. So the pulses, they're from legume family, and they're a category of superfoods which includes chickpeas, that is the white chana, lentils, dry peas and beans. And this is some data. India continues to be the largest producer of pulses, about 25% of global production. It's the largest consumer also, 27% of world consumption, and it's the largest importer also, about 14%. This percentage is not important, but you can remember these percentages for mains perspective. that India produces 25% of global produce and India is the largest consumer also. Now, as we discussed earlier, pulses account for 20% of area under food grains. I told you. You see this, that total area was 127 million hectares. And how much has been given to pulses? Pulses, they are getting only 28 million hectares. So pulses, they are getting 20% of the total area. And they contribute around 7 to 10% of total food grain production. This data can be little bit changed because pulses production was 23 million tons. Total food grain production we can take it to 300 million tons. So it comes around to 7 to 10%. 7 to 10% of total food grain production. Pulses are grown in both Kharif and Rabi season. Rabi pulses contribute more than 60% of total production. We discussed that out of 23, 15 million tons it's produced in Rabi and 18 million tons is produced in Kharif. Gram is the most dominant pulse we have discussed. And why gram is the most dominant pulse? Because its yield is more. Yield of gram is the most in case of pulses. So gram is the most dominant pulse, having a share of around 40% in the total production. Is that means around 10 million ton is gram only. You see this. So how much gram we are producing? It's 11 million tons and total is 23 million tons. So yes, gram is contributing 40% of total production, followed by tur, arhar, and then third number is udad or black matte. So first is gram, second is tur, and third is udad. And if I talk about states which are dominant in production of pulses, they are Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Karnataka. Then these are the various type of pulses which we have: soya beans, peanuts or say groundnut, fresh peas, fresh beans, dry beans, that is rajma, then dry peas also, chickpeas and lentils. Then what's the significance of, let's come to the mains part now. Significance of pulses. Now pulses, they are a source of nutritious fodder for the cattle. That's one point, nutritious fodder for cattle. Second is they help in nitrogen fixation. Second. Third is they add organic matter to soil. They are short duration. So as they are short duration, we can grow 2 crops on the same land in one season. So that's advantage. That pulses, they are short duration crops, and due to which we can grow second crop on the same land. Moreover, they are industrial crops. Some of them, they even provide raw materials to industries also. Then they have low carbon and low water footprints. They emit less carbon dioxide and they use less water, hence the less water footprint. Footprint means how much impact is there on water and on carbon dioxide. So they have low carbon and water footprint. They are an important source of protein for vegetarian people, and they also, this is the important one, they also help in maintaining optimal blood sugar levels. Okay, so if we revise again, what's the important? Nutritious food for nutrition fodder and nitrogen fixation, organic matter to soil, short duration, can cultivate more crops, which leads to increase in farmers' income. Their industrial crops provide raw materials to industries, low carbon and low water footprint, source of protein, and maintain optimal blood sugar level. Then, this is the trend in pulses production and projected demand. In the year 15-16, this was the area under pulses cultivation, around 25 million tons. We will not take 15-16 as the optimum year because this year was a drought year. So we will not take this picture into consideration. If we talk about 2007-8, we were producing around 15 million tons and now we are producing around 24 million tons. This is about 2015 and 18-19. So in 18-19, demand of pulses was around 26.5 million tons. Currently in the year 2019, it is 27 million tons and we are producing 23 million tons. In 1951, this is per gram availability of pulses. Per gram availability was 60 grams per day. In 2018, the per gram availability of pulses has come to 56 grams per day, which has come down as such. And it is significantly lower than what the WHO is saying, which is saying 80 grams per day of pulses is required per day for the amount of protein which we require. And then let's talk about the challenges in Indian pulses industry. First challenge is high yield gap. High yield gap is whatever yield is shown in experiments in the lab and whatever yield comes on the field, there's a huge gap in between. Okay, so we are not able to understand why do we have a high yield gap. Then input related challenges. Input related challenges is we do not have location specific high yield variety quality seeds like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan. They have different crops, different seasons, different climates. So for different climates we should have different type of high yield variety seeds, but we do not have. We do not have, or there is non-availability of location specific or recommended high yield variety quality seeds. Along with that, there is inflow of spurious and substandard seeds. Lack of demonstration of implements. This is a problem which is in every crop. Extension workers, they are missing. Extension services, they are lacking. So if there are extension services, then there will be demonstration of new technology, new equipments to the farmers, which will be helping the farmers to increase the production. But a demonstration is not happening. So lack of demonstration of implements like light seed drills, zero till machine, that's not required, but you can just write that the lack of demonstration is not happening as happened in earlier in the villages. And inability of the farmers to access institutional credit discourages them to purchase quality inputs and adopt improved technology. Then other challenges, production related challenge. So what's the production related challenge? Look, pulses, they are prone to biotic and abiotic stresses. How biotic and abiotic stresses? Like many times they can suffer from cold wave. The Rabi crops, they suffer from cold wave, and the Rabi crops, they can also suffer from terminal heat during Rabi. In April, many times the heat becomes very much, so pulses are not able to bear it. Moreover, there is problem of micronutrient deficiency also. Other problems which are common to other crops also are increased soil salinity, soil alkalinity, salinity, waterlogging, etc. And moreover, crop failure occurs due to erratic monsoon behavior and moisture stress. Other challenges I discussed earlier, they're moved to marginal lands. Because of green revolution, the pulses cultivation has moved to marginal lands which have less productivity. 84% area under pulses is rain fed with soils relatively of low fertility. So pulses, they are mostly grown in rain fed areas which have less fertile soils. And moreover, drought and heat stress, it also influences the yield in the plants. Other challenges, ineffectiveness of MSP. Look, MSP is announced for 23 commodities, but MSP benefit, it is hardly going to 10% farmers, and it is going to mostly influential states like Punjab, Haryana and Western UP. Only in these states the procurement is happening at MSP. In other states, the farmers are selling their crops, the farmers are selling their pulses at below MSP. Like if I talk about MSP, in the year 21-22 for Kharif season, government has announced a MSP of 6,300 rupees per quintal for tur. For moong dal, it is 4,800 rupees per quintal. For urad dal, it is 3,800 rupees per quintal. And if we compare with paddy, for paddy it is only 1,940 rupees per quintal. Groundnut, 550 per quintal. So let's just compare with pulses. Let's compare paddy with pulses. The MSP is high, which is being offered for pulses, but the point is the procurement is not even happening. The procurement is happening in these states, Punjab, Haryana, Western UP at MSP, but pulses are grown in Rajasthan, Maharashtra, MP, where procurement at MSP doesn't happen. So because of MSP, substantial benefits are accruing to wheat and rice growers in selected states, leaving pulse growers often receiving prices much below MSP. Okay, and then we have lack of post-harvest infrastructure. There is, look, if I talk about pulses, in pulses there is regularly problem of attack of pest. Even in houses they are attacked by pests and insects. So we need to go for their cold storage. We cannot store them in open. So there is a lack of infrastructure for scientific storage and related activities. For instance, pulses get only about 7.5% of total organized warehouse spacing, but total production is 23 million tons. So area which is available to pulses is 14 million tons for cold storage, but the production is 23 million tons. Moreover, the pulses, they suffer from price volatility also. Pulses, they suffer from cobweb phenomena, where every alternate year the prices of pulses will be increasing and decreasing. That's called cobweb phenomena. Point is, if this year suppose the prices are increasing of pulses, then what will the farmers do next year? All farmers, they will cultivate pulses. So next year the production of pulses will increase, and as the production of pulses will increase, the prices will reduce. So when the prices will reduce, next to next year what the farmers will do? They will not cultivate pulses, the production of pulses will come down, hence the prices of pulses will go up. So this alternate cycle of increase and decrease in prices, it is called cobweb phenomena. So pulses, they follow cobweb phenomena where production responds to prices with a lag, causing a recurring cycle of rise and fall in output and prices. And why do the pulses, they suffer from price volatility? Because of number of factors like pricing policies, import policies, production decisions, and the weather. Okay, the policies followed by the government for pulses import, pulses export are not consistent. Along with that, there are other challenges like lack of knowledge on current advances in production and management technology. Like farmers, they have a lack of knowledge regarding what are the new technologies, what are the new methods of production for pulses. Now government has launched various schemes for pulses. First is ISOPOM, which focused on integrated scheme of oilseeds, pulses, oil palm and maize. Other scheme the government brought was National Food Security Mission pulses, where under National Food Security Mission, government focused to increase production of rice, wheat and pulses by 10 million tons, 8 million tons and 2 million tons respectively. These government schemes, they will be helpful to you in mains paper, that which schemes have been brought by the government. This challenges in Indian pulses industry, important for mains perspective. Okay, so challenges are high yield gap, input related challenges, production related challenges, cultivation of marginal lands, ineffectiveness of MSP, lack of post harvest infrastructure, price volatility and other challenges. Government schemes are, we have discussed, and then other scheme is NFSM plus special initiative. Special initiative is a scheme was brought which was called Accelerated Pulses Production Program A3P and Pulses Development Scheme, which focused on integrated nutrient management, integrated pest management and efficient water application tools. So basically it focuses on increasing soil fertility. This also focuses on increasing the yield by focusing more on the life cycle of the pest. Along with that, government has brought price support system through PM ASHA. PM ASHA will discuss in some other video. But what's the future for us? What's the road ahead for us? First is we should focus on enhancing production. Look, between 1991 and 210, in just 20 years, the average increase in yield of two major pulse crops was that is of chickpea and pigeon pea was very high. The same thing could be done on the national level also. But why was this high increase in yield? It was because of the following reasons. on-time availability of high-yielding, short-duration, and wilt-resistant varieties. Adoption of improved varieties and easy access to production technologies. Commercial cultivation by mechanizing field operations. And grain storage at local level. So, if we have to increase production, these things they should be focused upon. First is on-time availability of high-yield variety seeds, need to provide new varieties, increased mechanization, and more storage facility. Then we need to maintain a need-based buffer stock so that we do not have to import. So the year in which the production is high, in that case there can be more buffer stock, but at the same time there has to be proper management of that storage so that there is no wastage. Along with that, the government should focus on increase on accessibility of pulses, especially in PDS. More demand of pulses should be created. And government, it should also bring open procurement for pulses also. Then only the farmers will be encouraged to go for pulses. Otherwise, they'll keep on going with the rice and wheat cycle in spite of high MSP for pulses. Along with that, there should be provision of imports. Our importing agencies, they should keep a close watch on the 30 pulse exporting countries so that we can buy from them at a cheaper price. All right, that completes the topic of pulses which was in the current affairs of May 21. All right, thank you.